talking about those entry level positions, I know that probably Kimberley Cameron and Associates is the exception, but you're there as an assistant for 2 years, and this is after you've been making those big zookeeper dollars, right? Is it changed? So what does that look like for you? Are you able to go into being an assistant for Kimberly Cameron full time as your sole job, or was that on the side for a bit?
That was on the side. She does have there is one office position that you can do full time, but it's a complicated situation, and this is something that also agencies are changing and need to be changed. Because there was always this idea that internships were unpaid, especially at smaller boutique agencies, because you can't really afford to bring on someone as an assistant. And the idea was that it was an apprenticeship, and that was always sort of the basis, in the past. And that was the basis for the big New York agencies as well, which is obviously changed. And it changed in the time that I was there. Unfortunately, not in time for me. But
sure, you were very happy for everyone else.
Yeah, I'm very happy for everyone else who can, but I have to say, doing it in my mid-30s, I had a lot of privilege coming into this, and so I can't deny that I was able to make it work because of my privilege as well. So I wouldn't have been able to make it work when I was younger, but I was able to make it work in my 30s. And maybe that's why it happened the way it happened. But for those people in their mid 20s, there really needs to be a broader base of support, financial support. And there is sort of a lot of push for diversity within kind of the agent communities. And the AALA, which used to be known as the AAR, has developed, it's called Agents for Change. And their whole mission is to diversify our side of the industry. And they're doing some really, really fun things. So hopefully things will start changing.
So, esteemed audience is looking over your biography, poring over your manuscript wish list, which I assume they're doing right now. Stop it, esteemed audience. Listen to the rest of the conversation, then get on there. One thing that I assume is going to jump right out to them and jumped right out to me is that you are a green witch. Is that right?
Yes. So I identify as a green witch. And for further explanation of that, I would say that, if you have leanings that are anti-pagan, perhaps I might not be the best fit for you. That would be the reason I even state that. I debated for a while mentioning that, but I do really feel that witch in general is something that was used to oppress women for years and years and years, and I can feel that there is like a reclaiming of that term happening, particularly here in California on the West Coast. I see it happening. There's some really interesting witches of color on Instagram that I think that you could follow them on Instagram, called the Witches of Atlanta. And there's just an interesting conversation happening around what it means to be a witch, and it's too long and involved to talk about that here, but I would like to say I put it out there so that those people who are aware of that conversation happening and are maybe perhaps bringing it into their point of view in their books and their voices, know that I would be someone who would be really interested in reading that.
Fair enough. I almost never ask people about that unless it's right there on your website or you're very public and upfront about it.
Yeah.
Because I see that and I think, well, now, does this mean that you can use magic to get me a better deal on my book? Because I want that to be what that means.
I'm brewing potions as we speak. Perfect. to clarify, green witches tend to be more. It's about the earth. It's like, so the connection to the earth and growing and plants and animals and things like that. So it's not quite the kind of the magical and the rituals that maybe you associate with like typical witchcraft.
It sounds infinitely more practical, but less fun.
You know, that would be a good way to describe me. I'm more practical and maybe less fun than than your classic fantasy characters. So.
Any agents out there who are listening who happen to be more magical witches, come on the show. I want to know what kind of spells you're casting, how that comes in handy in your agenting life.
And to me, I'd love to hear more about it too.